What if there was a book not filled with strict rules or distant philosophy, but filled with ancient tested wisdom, a guide to everyday living? A book that doesn't just tell you what's right, but what actually works. That book exists. It's called Proverbs, found right in the heart of the Bible. And it's not just for religious people. It's for anyone who has ever asked, how do I live a life that works? A life with purpose, peace, and impact. Let us explore Proverbs, the Bible's ultimate guide to wise living, and then see why wisdom alone isn't enough. Part 1. The Wisdom of Proverbs. The book of Proverbs is part of the Bible's wisdom literature, along with Job and Ecclesiastes. Think of Proverbs as a father's wise counsel to his child, or a mentor's life-tested advice to someone just starting out. It's filled with short, punchy sayings, proverbs that summarize how life tends to work. Things like, a gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. Lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth. Pride goes before destruction, a haughty spirit before a fall. These aren't guarantees. They're patterns like learning the grain of the wood before you cut. Live in harmony with these truths and your life usually goes better. Ignore them and you'll likely run into trouble. And at the heart of it all is this powerful line. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. This doesn't mean we live in terror of God. It means we live in awe of Him, humbly recognizing that He designed the universe, including the invisible moral structure of life itself. Living wisely starts by recognizing that you are not the center of the universe, God is. Part 2. Meet Lady Wisdom. One of the most fascinating features of Proverbs is the character of Lady Wisdom. She's not just a literary device. She's portrayed as a living presence, calling out to people in the streets. Come, listen to me. Learn from me, and I will give you life. Lady Wisdom is like a bridge between heaven and earth. She represents the wisdom of God woven into the fabric of creation, moral cause and effect. Built-in consequences, the logic of the universe. She says, follow me and flourish. Reject me and suffer. And here's the thing. She's not hiding. She's crying out. God's wisdom isn't reserved for the elite. It's offered to everyone, rich or poor, young or old. So Proverbs teaches us, life works best when you live with humility, integrity, discipline, and kindness. Wisdom is a better guide than impulse. Character matters, and hard work pays off. Part 3. The limits of wisdom. What happens when the wise suffer? What about when you do everything right and still fail? When the honest get crushed and the wicked succeed? This is where many people get confused or discouraged. Proverbs teaches how life usually works. It's not how it always works. Because we live in a world broken by sin, there are exceptions. And that's why the Bible also includes Job and Ecclesiastes, 2 books that remind us that even the wise and righteous suffer, that not all pain has a clear cause, that human wisdom has limits. So, while Proverbs is deeply practical, it isn't ultimate. It points to a better life, but not eternal life. It teaches good character, but can't cure a sinful heart. It helps you succeed, but it can't save your soul. In short, wisdom isn't enough. Part 4. The missing piece. A relationship with God. What we truly need is not just a better life, but a restored relationship with the giver of life. Even the wisest person in the world still sins. Even the most disciplined individual still faces death. Even the kindest soul carries guilt, shame, and longing for something more. And that's where Proverbs becomes a signpost, not a solution. It points us to someone greater. The New Testament says something radical. Christ is the power of God and the wisdom of God. In other words, Jesus is the embodiment of everything Proverbs points toward. He didn't just speak wisdom. He is wisdom in the flesh. He lived the perfect, wise life and then died in the place of fools like us. Why? To bring us back to God. Part 5. How to grow in relationship with God. Jesus didn't come just to make us smarter or more moral. He came to make us new, to forgive our sin, fill us with His Spirit, and restore us to the Father. And that changes everything, because now, your goal isn't just to be good at life, it's to know the one who gave you life. So, how do we grow in this relationship? Start with the Word. Proverbs is a great place to begin, but don't stop there. Read the Gospels. Meet Jesus. Talk to God. Prayer isn't just about asking. It's about listening, thanking, confessing, and building intimacy. Follow Jesus. His way isn't always easy, but it's always worth it. He leads us to truth, peace, and eternal joy. Join the family. Faith isn't a solo journey. Grow in community. Learn with others. Encourage and be encouraged. Remember, wisdom makes life better. Christ gives you new life. Share the gospel. Guide them to a relationship with God as you have. So if you want to be good at life, read Proverbs. Learn, reflect, apply, but don't stop there, because real wisdom doesn't end in success. It ends in surrender. It ends at the feet of Jesus. May you live a life well examined,